Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Thursday, December 9th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's short 3-game slate, and then going over my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for tonight. So before we get going, I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there that this is probably one of the ugliest NBA slates I've seen in the past year and a half. There is not much value out there. I only have 4 players on DraftKings projecting over 5 times value and 2 players on FanDuel. So hopefully some other value opens up throughout the day. But as of right now, this is not a very pretty slate and not the one that I would be investing a lot of money in overall. But without further ado, we'll get into yesterday's picks and talk about how they turned out. So at the point guard position on the DraftKings side, we had Ayo Dosunmu, $3,900, looking for 19-20 points. He got to 9.5. He played like 32 minutes in this game. Only took 2 shots, made both of them, had 3 assists, and just didn't do anything else. So just a terrible day overall. It's really hard to project that happening because even if you just give him a 0.8 fantasy point per minute, he still projects out for 24 points. He had like a 0.3 fantasy points per minute yesterday. That's just not something that you can expect at any given time. Then at shooting guard, we had Kelly Oubre, $7,500, looking for 38 points out. He got to 44, so he was a hit. Norman Powell, $4,800. Looking for 24 points out. He honestly didn't have the best game, but he still got 31 points, so he was a hit. If he shot the ball decently at all, he would have had at least 40 DraftKings points last night. Then we had James Johnson, $3,300, was my pivot off of Robert Covington. Once James Johnson, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge was ruled out. James Johnson looked really, really good. And he played pretty good the night before, too. So you're looking for about 16, 17 points out of him. You got to 14.5. He's a mess. He only ended up playing 19 minutes in the game. Like, the Nets just, punted this game essentially. They play all these guys off the bench, bigger minutes. It just didn't make sense what they did. So James Johnson, I had him projected probably for about 26 minutes when he was starting. If he gets that, he definitely pays off at this price tag, but unfortunately only got 19, so obviously did not pay off. Then Nick Claxton, same situation here. $3,200 was in that starting lineup. Had him projected for about 20 minutes. Only ended up playing 16, so he got 15 points. So he was missed. Probably just a miss because, you're looking for 16 points out of him. You got 15. If he gets that 20 minutes, he easily hits his goal yesterday. So kind of a little bit of hit or miss day on the DraftKings side yesterday. And then in terms of FanDuel, we had James Harden, $10,200, looking for 51 points out of him. He got to 48.2. He was a miss. Probably not one that killed you overall. 4 for 16 shooting from the field, though. Norman Powell, once again, $5,200, looking for 26 points out of him. He got to 32.5, so he is a hit. Then Kelly Oubre, once again, $6,800, looking for 34 points out of him. He got to 40.5, so he was a hit. Nick Claxton, once again, pretty much same stories on the DraftKings side, only for those 16 minutes, so he was a mess at 15.8 points. And then Joel Embiid, $10,400, looking for 52 points out of him. Got to 49.6. He is a mess, but probably not one that killed you overall yesterday. So really, really hit or miss yesterday. Kind of frustrating with some of the minutes and everything else that happened, but it is what it is. We move on to the next day with the NBA DFS. And unfortunately, we move on to today's NBA DFS slate, which I already mentioned is not a very pretty slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved into the injuries for tonight's slate. So we're going to start off with the Utah Jazz, who have Azubuike out once again. Whiteside is a game-time decision. He's missed the last couple times out. They have him in the green looking like he should play tonight, but we'll just have to see. One thing to keep in mind, too, tonight, this could actually open up some value is if Mike Conley does not end up playing. He sat on the back-to-back a couple different times throughout the season, so I would not be surprised if it happens once again tonight, but we'll just have to follow that throughout the day. If that does end up happening, then Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles are looking a lot better tonight because they both have reasonable price tags as well. On the 76ers side of the ball, we got Ben Simmons and Grant Ryler both out once again, so no major changes there. Then we move over to the Los Angeles Lakers. Kendrick Nunn, Trevor Ariza both out. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both probable to play once again tonight. Then on the opposite side of the ball, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are without Ja Morant, Sam Merrill once again, Zaire Williams, Brandon Clark, and Kyle Anderson. All this is questionable, but all have been missing for a couple of games now, so we'll see who's back out of that group tonight, if anyone at all. Then last but not least, we have the Denver Nuggets, who are without Jamal Murray. Austin Rivers could be returning in this game. We did see Bones Highland and Bol Bol return last night from the COVID list. So not a ton of value overall there for the Denver Nuggets with everybody kind of returning. And then the opposite side of the game, this is probably where the value spot's going to be, but it's a very difficult one to project and figure out who's going to play what minutes. And it's the San Antonio Spurs. They are without Zach Collins, and then Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson are both doubtful to play once again tonight. So you could see some uptick in minutes for a Doug McDermott, a Keta Beats Diop, Elani Walker, Bryn Forbes, somebody like that. Like, there's a lot of people that could play a lot of minutes, but picking the right ones is going to be the key to this slate overall tonight. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on the injuries and play for tonight's slate. And with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So on the DraftKings side, you're going to see, like I mentioned, some of those Spurs guys because that's probably where the value is going to be tonight. So I'm going to start off with Derek White. He is $6,300, looking for about 31, 32 points out. Averaging about 30 on the season, got him projected for 30, 31 points tonight. As I mentioned, there's not a lot of guys that have good value overall on tonight's slate. So he's definitely up there and one of the guys that looks like a decent value and has some upside as well. Then a shooting guard, we're going with his teammate Bryn Forbes, $3,400, looking for 17 points out. I got him projected for about 18, 19 tonight. He is obviously mainly a scorer, so most of his DraftKings points is going to have to come from scoring as well. But he does get that 3-point bonus every once in a while. He gets a couple of rebounds or an assist, but on the bright side, he's been playing over 20 minutes a game in recent games as well, and doing rather well at the same time. Then at small forward, I'm going Rudy Gay at this point in time. I don't know if Whiteside is going to play tonight or not. He's kind of playing that backup small ball center position at this point in time. He's been playing rather well. $3,900, looking for about 19, 20 points out. And that's exactly what I got projected for tonight at 19 to 20 points. Definitely has a little bit of upside for more if he's playing well, but we'll just have to see how this all shakes out by the time we get to lock as well. So Rudy Gay is definitely a guy that could change throughout the day. Then I got Jaren Jackson Jr., $7,000, looking for 35 points. I'm got projected for 36 points tonight. One of the better value plays on tonight's slate overall. Obviously on the DraftKings side, he's looking pretty good. And then last but not least, we got Jakob Poeltl at the center position. Kind of that guy that I always play, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistent. They finally upped his price tag just a little bit to $6,400, looking for 32 points out. I got him projected for about 31, 32 points tonight, which is pretty much in line with his average, a guy that's not going to kill you overall on tonight's slate. But if you go with these 5 players I do have listed here, you'll have $23,000 remaining. Just over $7,600 per player, so definitely could pay up for a couple guys, find a value play, and then go from there. Very, very interesting slate overall, and I think it's going to be a pretty difficult one as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there too. So at the point guard position, I went with Donovan Mitchell, $8,400. I got him projected for 41 points. You're looking for 42. He's averaging about 40 on the season. Obviously, if Mike Conley gets ruled out, this makes him look like a lot more attractive option. And it's a pretty good matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers as well. If he's shooting the ball well, definitely has a ton of upside for more. At the shooting guard position, I got Dylan Brooks, $6,100. Looking for about 30, 31 points. I'm got projected for 29, 30 points tonight. So right under that 5 times value, but definitely has a little bit upside for more as well. Then at small forward, he was just not pretty at all. So I got Bogdanovich, $5,200, looking for 26 points out. I got him projected for 25. He's averaging just over 24.5 on the season. If he's shooting the ball well, maybe he does a little bit better, but it's not very pretty at that small forward position today. And then probably arguably the best value play on the FanDuel side is Jaren Jackson Jr., $6,200, looking for 31 points out of him. That's essentially what he's averaging on the season. Got him projected for about 34 points tonight. Should be a favorable game script for him too, as the Lakers don't play super big most of the time. They just have Anthony Davis at the 5. Jaren Jackson could plug in at the 4 or the 5 in tonight's game for most of the game. And as long as he's playing big minutes and as long as he's staying out of foul trouble, he's going to be a guy that you're going to want in your lineup tonight. Then last but not least, we got Nikola Jokic at $11,100. Looking for about 55, 56 points out of him. That's exactly what he's averaging on the season. I got him projected for 56 points tonight. Should be the top overall point scorer on tonight's slate. So definitely a guy that you're going to want in most of your lineups tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $23,000 remaining, just over $5,700 per player. So you're going to need to find some value on tonight's slate. Hopefully there's a little bit more that opens up throughout the day. Hopefully we can nail down the right Spurs players and get some value there as well. But that's really what this slate's going to come down to at this point in time. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, December 9th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. And then also be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate. I know it's a pretty rough slate overall, whether it's on DraftKings or FanDuel. And then I will also be listing all the injury updates and starting lineups down in the comments throughout the day as well. These games are really tight together too, so we should have most of the news by the time we get to lock. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have that notification bell turned on so you never miss a beat, never miss a day, especially when it comes to NBA DFS. And then if you're into fantasy football or NFL DFS content, make sure you're subscribed and following for that as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.